So, King of the Ring. We're still in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. And like I said earlier, the Phoenix flies over the arena, and the arena is wearing 2 crowns. And then they blow the city of Jeddah for a while.
And they did it on SmackDown too. There was like a little like crosshair that shows where we are. I don't
I
know
remember
why.
that. I don't remember them just going into detail about how great Jeddah is.
I'm not even gonna lie. Some of the shots they were showing, it looked pretty good. Now I'd never go there, obviously. You know, people of my ilk don't do well over there, I would assume. But yeah, there was a shot where there was like a waterfall thing, and I was like, man, I'd want to go down that because it
Yeah, it's
looks
cool.
like you could slide down it, but maybe not.
Well, tonight our walkers are Cody Rhodes, Logan Paul, Randy Orton, the Ring General, Nia Jax, and ugly NXT chick. Hashtag walking era. And then they do a video package, and they just aren't as epic without the cool music. And in fact, there was no music, at least not that I remember.
No.
So to start off, a useless Liv Morgan beat Seth's husband for Rhea's belt. Didn't she just do this fucking thing where she beat Liv Morgan? Was it a battle royal or some shit?
Yes.
So why not just have fucking Liv Morgan win?
Well, what the experts in the community would tell you is that they were telling the Liv Morgan story. You're wrong, by the way, because they have not told that story yet. I know the story that you're saying that they're telling, where Liv Morgan is basically taking everything that Rhea Ripley had, but we didn't get there. Yeah, she's sucked off Dom a couple times, but they haven't done anything on screen yet. It's all been behind doors.
And he came out, his objective was to keep Liv from winning Rhea's belt. So he
Well, it
threw a
was.
chair into the ring. Well, he looked upset.
I know. I mean, he was getting sucked off for her a week ago, so
Well, that's my thing. Like, they've been in private little things.
apparently
So,
he was getting sucked off in the car on Raw, but I looked back and I couldn't find it, so I went and rewatched. I was like, did I miss something? Because yeah, people were saying she jumped out of the car with him. Obviously, he was getting sucked off in there. I didn't see it. So yeah, the whole storyline arc is not done.
you could have just let her fucking. There's no reason to have Becky champion.
Oh, and there's also some rumblings that because Becky Lynch has not signed her new contract. So there's some people who say, oh, they got her the title off her because she's not on a new contract yet. Not that she won't be. But if you're an AEW fan, don't even start. Okay, she's staying in WWE. Like, cut the shit.
She's not talented when she's fucking with the machine. She's not going to be talented when she's with Tony Khan.
She makes money. But yeah, she's going to sign a new contract with WWE. So if that's your reason that she lost tonight, I don't think that's the reason either. Now, I do agree that Liv should have won the Battle Royal.
Well, if you're going to
WWE
get to that
clearly-
fucking point anyway, what did Becky Lynch do as champion besides hold the title?
Nothing.
Exactly. If you're just going to have somebody just hold it, then you might as well just get to where you're going. Makes no sense.
Right. I mean, it's clear that they panicked. Rhea got hurt. Oh, shit. So they put the title on Becky.
Who they immediately had lose to Liv Morgan.
Yeah, I don't know why this is different. How much has changed. And again, the Liv Morgan story that they were trying to tell has not been finished. You could say it hasn't even been started yet.
What would have made sense at the time is if Liv Morgan would have fucking won. That's the logical story. Becky being a placeholder that doesn't do anything for Becky, doesn't do anything for the title.
It runs her number up. So, yeah, in 10 years when we're talking about Becky Lynch, then we can say she was 7-time champion or whatever the number is.
I'll be surprised if we talk about her in 10 years.
Well, you get it. When people remember Becky Lynch, then they'll remember the number. Not that the title reign that lasted like a month.
All right.
Same thing they're trying to do with Charlotte. That's it.
Chad Gable, Bronson Reed, and Sami Zayn face each other for the Intercontinental Championship. And they showed a video package of the potentially nice feud we could have seen with Gable and Sami. But just like this match, Bronson Reed was inserted out of nowhere. And Gable's starting to get the angle, you suck chance, which you brought up earlier. And Gable comes out with Otis and Dupree. Gable does the babyface move and sends her untalented ass to the back. Tell me that's not a babyface move.
I mean, I guess it's a heel move because I don't know. Do they look at women that way over there? They got them all covered up, so I don't know if they're into that thing.
Oh,
But
they are. They're just. I
look
mean,
at her eyeballs. Those are look how attractive her eyeballs are. That's what they do over there. I'm not making fun of that. Like, having a woman with dignity is probably a good thing. I mean, our women are like literally naked, and then I'm the creep because I'm looking at you and you're naked. Like, what are we doing here in America?
we like to set you up for failure.
Yeah, I don't know how it is there, but here they literally walk
Around
around
with their
naked.
tits out. And they're like,
Yes.
what are you doing staring at my thumb? And it's like, well, it's sticking out there. If you don't want me looking at your thumb, it wouldn't be just hitching a ride, would it?
Yeah, wearing like the absolute tightest clothes they can wear. And if you look, oh, you're a creep. Okay.
Right.
Sure thing, buddy.
Well, Sammy got an extra video package for some fucking reason. I'm pretty sure it's the same video package it was when he did his first Saudi return. I don't know why it's such a big deal for him.
He's from there, or I don't know.
They did it once. It was a big deal once. They don't need to fucking keep doing it. Plus, it's Sami Zayn.
You think the same people were in the building?
Probably, yeah.
Oh, okay. No, they were in a different thing.
They've been in Jeddah before.
Have they?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
There's only like 2 or 3 cities that they use there.
Yeah, Riyadh and Jeddah. Okay.
Riyadh, Jeddah, and I thought there was one more. Anyway, so this was pretty back and forth. Reed did a Tower of Power spot, of course. And then he did a moonsault and missed. Then Gable did his own moonsault, and that was a 2 count. Gable got Sammy in an ankle lock. Then Gable got Reed in an ankle lock as he was walking by. And Sammy gets Gable in an ankle lock to form a human centipede of retardation. And Reed did a double Samoan drop, and it got this is awesome chant. And that was not awesome. Just want to say, off the bat, it was not awesome. He's done it a million times. However, Reed did do a suicide dive, and that was awesome because that big fucking fat piece of shit just crashed into both of them. Took them both out. He was like a little bowling ball.
Yeah, he did an awful lot of high flying.
He did. I thought he was gonna win with all the shit he was doing. Like, man, he's trying extra hard tonight. He must be winning. Gable does his rolling German suplexes to Sammy. Then Sammy reverses and does his own German suplexes. So that's all he can do is other people's movesets. And Gable
at this point, he's just full on. Are you talking about Gable or Sammy?
Sammy. Gable did the suplexes, and then Sammy had to reverse it and do the same shit.
Oh, well, I was just gonna say at this point we're going like full on Kurt Angle with Gable. Although now saying that, I think it was Benoit that did the back suplexes.
Yeah, I think Angle adopted it.
Yeah, I was just waiting for straps down.
Gable did a stacked German suplex to Reed and Sammy. It was fucking ridiculous, this fucking match. Gable sets up Otis to take Reed out on the outside, which he does. Then he wants him to take out Zayn. Then Otis hesitates. Then they do this thing where Gable pushes Otis, and you think he's at his breaking point finally. But then Otis starts to psych himself out. And then he charges Sammy. And then Sammy rolls out of the way. So Otis nails Gable. I kind of think he could have stopped. I watched the replay. I think he could have stopped. It almost seemed like he lifted his arm after Sammy rolled out of the way.
Well, I was saying the whole time, Sammy's gonna obviously move. It's taking way too long.
No shit.
Otis is having this internal conflict. Chad Gable drops Sami Zayn and goes and talks to Otis and slaps him, and they have a conversation. Then he goes picks Sami Zayn back up. It's like clearly Sammy's gonna move, and then even Sammy's like, "Don't do it, Otis." Like he's getting held. He's like, "Don't do it, Otis." So yeah, we knew he was gonna move, and he did.
He did, and he won with a kick on Reed. And yeah, this wasn't a wrestling match. It was just a bunch of routines. After the match, Gable's just staring bloody murder at Otis. And Cole says, Gable is pissed off.
I enjoyed the match for what it was, I guess. I don't think Reed necessarily needed to be in the match. But like I said, I think they're holding it off. They'll probably do it in this coming up pay-per-view Clash at the Castle, 1-on-1. But I
We'll
think they were holding the 1-on-1 match. Yeah, it's clear that Chad Gable is going to bring in his new Alpha Academy, which will consist of the Creed brothers, and he's going to drop the dead weight that is Tozawa, Maxine, and Otis.
I will say, as I was perusing this match, they don't seem to be doing the two guys fight while the one guy is knocked out until the two guys are done fighting deal that they usually do.
Yeah.
Or they run and knock one guy out of the ring so the two guys can do their shit. So I think they're doing a better job of incorporating the actual triple threat.
They are. Now, the suplex spot was a little ridiculous. When
The German
Chad Gable,
my God,
that was a little ridiculous.
yeah.
Like, okay. Now, if Bronson Reed would have done it, that's more believable. But Chad Gable doing it, come on.
Well, he already did the Tower Power spot, so.
And he did the double Samoan drop. So if he would have done the German suplex on both, that's a lot more believable than Chad Gable doing it.
Yeah. Well, Triple H is after that, and he's interviewed about something, and he brings up SummerSlam, and it's going to be in Minnesota, and it's also going to be 2 nights.
Yeah.
Jade Not Jade had an interview. There were a lot of girl, they thought they were going to beat us. We're going to pop their heads off. What time is it? We're about to go night-night. I guess they beat some other team earlier on the pre-show. I think we already talked about that.
Yes, they beat Indy and Candice LeRae.
Good deal. It's a good thing that heel turn of theirs is going somewhere.
Well, they got to fly out to Saudi to job, so I guess it is.
It's a job on the pre-show.
We still get the paycheck. Where was Braun Breaker on the pre-show or on any of this show? Where was Dame Priest?
Well, Nia Jax beat the ugly NXT chick, and she's facing Bayley. Hope it's not a triple threat match that includes the whale. The ugly NXT chick made ugly faces. The monster, Nia Jax, almost lost to this Thumbelina-looking gremlin. And after the match, Triple H came out to crown Jax. She cries. She hugs Triple H. And I thought that was a perfect way to kill a monster. Then she tries to cut a serious promo that I had no interest in because she was fucking crying and hugging, and you don't get to try to reel me in after you already break character, you know?
Yeah, she was emotional. I mean, being in that spot after not even having a job a year ago.
That is absolutely fine. But if you're supposed to be this badass monster, and that's what she is, or at least that's what they want us to believe that she is, then we can't see her fucking crying and hugging Triple H and showing emotion and shit. She needs to be a monster. Especially when she's going to fucking cry and carry on and hoot and holler. And then 5 seconds later, I'm going to just destroy all of you. No, it doesn't work like that.
Yes, she calls out. Well, she didn't really say. Seemingly, this will have been Bayley that she'll be calling out since she's on SmackDown. Or she can call out Liv Morgan. She has the open opportunity to call either one. So we'll see where that goes. The match, I don't have anything really to say about the match, but I do want to talk about the finish. So the finish saw Valkyria trying to do a powerbomb. Nia Jax was on the second rope. She was going to do the Annihilator, and Valkyria was going to turn that into a powerbomb. And as she's trying to get Nia Jax off the turnbuckle, from that position, straight down they go into the Annihilator, and it looked gnarly. Like, I don't know. There was no break in between the mattress and Valkyria. So like full force Nia Jax came down on her. So the nastiest Annihilator yet. Although the Bianca one was pretty nasty too. So Valkyria probably has a hurt body right now.
I think the ones with Rhea were the worst looking.
Well, I mean, with this one, she didn't stop at all. Like her feet didn't catch her.
Okay. That was pretty good.
Yeah, so probably.
But it's like she spent 45 minutes trying to beat that little tiny bitch.
Yeah, there is that, but obviously they were trying to give grace to the King of the Ring.
There's grace and then there's realism.
I'm not saying I liked it. I'm just saying I know what they were trying to do.
Well, Gunther versus Randy Orton. Yeah, Wade Barrett gave us some bad news and broke down the tournament for us. And he was awesome at it. And Orton just moseys on to the ring. He's not in a hurry at all. I think he even stops to slap hands with some fans.
Yeah, he was taking his time. I said he was trying to compete with the Roman Reigns entrance.
Well, they kept trying to say, oh, he's trying to psych Gunther out. And Gunther's just kind of, and they even said this too, like Gunther's just staring at him with the same expression the whole time. He almost looked alien. It was great. So it starts off with both men feeling each other out, then showing which one of them's boss. And then Randy gets the advantage, which is okay because there are at least two men fighting instead of, Gunther versus a child like Sami Zayn. And then Gunther finally hits his chops. Randy sold him weird. Gunther goes for his powerbomb early. Randy counters into an RKO attempt, but Gunther pushes Orton off. At this point, Orton's back is fucked up. Gunther sees blood in the water. Gunther goes and does nothing but back offense to Orton. Then he gets Randy in an arm lock, and Randy fucks his knee up trying to get back to his feet. Michael Cole said Sami Zayn's win over Gunther was a fluke, which is true. Thank you, Michael Cole, for finally admitting it. Let's take a minute to appreciate the greatest announcer in the world, Michael Cole. Orton hits his draping DDT over Gunther. Then he gets ready for an RKO. Gunther gets out of the RKO and hits a scoop slam and a splash. And Gunther actually lost his balance, but he still nailed Orton. It was great.
Yeah, he completely slipped off the rope.
But he still recovered, and it looks real. Gunther goes for a second splash. Orton evades, then hits an RKO. But Orton's back is too fucked up. Randy slowly crawls to Gunther, but Gunther suddenly rolls out of the ring. Vintage Gunther. Orton follows Gunther out of the ring so he can do his announce desk spots. And Gunther shoves Orton into the ring apron. Then goes for a powerbomb. Orton counters into a back body drop. Orton throws Gunther into the ring. Gunther does this T-Rex drop kick to Orton's knee. And I said, holy shit. Because it looked brutal. And after fucking up Orton's leg, Gunther locks in a Boston Crab. Orton fights out of it, then hits another RKO, but Gunther kicks out. And then Gunther sneaks in with a crucifix on Orton, 1, 2, 3. But Orton had his shoulder up, but the ref still counted. And Triple H was interviewed later, saying, we didn't even see it, but Gunther's the king of the ring. However, as soon as Randy's better, go ahead and run this one back because it was a great match. Now, Orton was already injured. For him to have a storyline injury when he just had a real injury, does that make any sense?
Well, you know how they do that when people come back from injury. It's like they have to sell it forever. Like I remember Shawn Michaels, he came back and he still had to sell that his back may not be 100%.
Right, but Randy was out for almost a year or so because of the bloodline fucking up his neck, right? So now he's back after a year's absence, and he loses to Gunther, and his back and knees are fucked up. So he's going to have an injury angle where he's going to be gone for a while.
AKA, they don't have anything for him. But I see what you're saying. Like, he just got back, so why are they doing it again?
Like, if you're going to keep him as an attraction, that's great, but then you need to stop having him fucking wrestle D'Angelo Dawkins or whatever.
Yes, he shouldn't be wrestling him. You know, I like my draws, so I'm a fan of only wrestle when it's necessary. Roman Reigns.
Yeah, he wrestled Paul.
You're not going to Two Below, Mississippi to wrestle. I don't know. They clearly had to do something because the finish was unfortunately how it was. So now they have to write something where Gunther's going to have to close the door with Randy Orton. Because, yeah, it became such a big thing online. His shoulders were up, which they were, very much so. And the ref was looking right at it, too. So,
well, I don't know about that, but his shoulder was definitely up. It looked to me like the ref was not looking at his shoulders.
Well, he's in position.
He definitely was in position.
Like, it's one thing if they sell it where he's not in position, so he just missed it, but he was right there. They're just going to have to tie that loose end up, but I still think it was the right winner. I was a little shocked by how, being that it was just a roll up. I thought for sure they were going to go like a pass out route or something to the knee, as we had been selling. It was good that they, first of all, they didn't play up the knee injury part. And then Randy Orton goes for a power slam, and he aggravated the knee injury at that point. Maybe he would have been injured either way if he
Okay.
hit it because of the twist.
You would think so. I just don't like the idea that he's spring activated instead of using his fucking common sense. Like, if the guy grabs onto the ropes, then don't fucking do the move.
Okay. At the end of the match, though, Gunther did mention that he's going to be the World Heavyweight Champion. So I guess he kind of solidified which one he's going after. Which brings me to, and this was already announced by Triple H, Drew McIntyre is going to get a match in Glasgow against one Damon Priest. Now, I find it hard to believe he's going to go into Glasgow and lose that match. But on the other hand,
you find that hard to believe?
Yes.
Okay. I don't.
You think he's losing that match?
No, I don't think anything right now, but I don't find it hard to believe that he would lose in Scotland.
I think he's going to win, which then brings to the Gunther predicament, because I also think Gunther, as soon as he challenges for the title, which is now set for SummerSlam, he's going to be your new champion.
Maybe Punk gets involved somehow.
Yeah, you're pretty much going to have to do a Punk thing. Again, that's your only way out. Because, you're saving McIntyre for the CM Punk feud. If he wins the title and loses it clean to Gunther, then that takes some steam off of the Punk feud. So you got to have Punk interfere in some way, either in Glasgow or at SummerSlam, wherever the hell that is.
Well, Triple H came out and he just handed Gunther his crown. There was no emotional hug or anything. And then Gunther holds up the crown like
Never
a chalice.
puts it on.
Nope. I'm glad. And Byron asks Gunther how it feels to be king. Crowd chants, "You deserve it." And Gunther says, "Thank you. That's nice. But what I do or do not deserve is none of your fucking business." And the crowd immediately boos him. And Gunther says it feels great, even better after beating Orton. And what happened today is the apex predator became the prey to the Ring General. And the Ring General becomes the king. And at SummerSlam, I'm going to be champion. And Cole wished Priest luck, which I thought was nice.
Yeah, he's going to need it.
Logan Paul versus Cody Rhodes. Match lived up to the lack of excitement. Paul used the brass knuckles, of course. Cole said, "But Paul, you signed a pre-nuck agreement."
I thought that was pretty clever. Cole. You signed a pre-nuck. Okay. And as you see, that's instead of a prenup. It's a term for when a man marries a thought, and the thought is just trying to get their money.
Cole calls Paul a loser for cheating, and then Paul goes after Cole, but Graves has to separate him. Then the Saudi comedian got involved and actually tripped and pulled Logan out of the ring. A comedian.
Is that what he was?
Yes. He was at Crown Jewel last year.
Oh, I didn't know him then, and I didn't know him now.
So to recap, a comedian manhandled someone WWE thought was deserving to contend for their top prize.
He just tripped him.
He tripped him and pulled him out of the ring.
He tried to. He didn't, though.
Got him enough.
He attacked him from behind, too, so there's that.
He's a comedian.
Those comedians think they're tough guys.
Cody beat one of Paul's friends up, and then he ultimately had to use 3 crossroads to beat the guy who was manhandled by the comedian. And then Cody signals for the mic to say some shit, but the show cuts off.
Yeah, Queen and King of the Ring went off the air. There was a nice little meme moment after you say comedian, and I doubt he's funny, by the way.
Me too.
You call him a comedian, but
I just know that's what he does for a living.
Well, I mean, I guess if he makes a living off of it, that might be good for him. But anyway, he grabs Logan Paul. Logan Paul says, "Who the hell are you?" And then he turns around into the crossroad, and Cody Rhodes says, "I'm Cody Rhodes, bitch." I think that's going to live on for a while.